President Trump already getting results as he cracks down on illegal immigration during his first week in office. Homeland Security sources telling News Nation that Border Patrol has seen a more than 40% drop in encounters. In the final days of the Biden presidency, Border Patrol recorded 4,000 encounters with illegal immigrants, compared to just fewer than 2,400 since Inauguration Day. That news coming as the president sends 1,500 more troops to the southern border, along with the Pentagon sending aircraft, they're sending intelligence, you name it. News Nation's Robert Sherman is in Washington with the latest. And Robert, the president's showing he's really kind of walking the walk in this first week back to office.
Yeah, no two ways about it, Marky, with the president making good on his day one promise to declare a state of emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. He's now using that authority that gives him the ability to deploy these troops to reestablish operational control. 1,500 additional troops will be sent to the border to join the roughly 2,200 National Guardsmen who are already there, building temporary and permanent barriers along the border with Mexico. And the door is reportedly open for as many as 10,000 soldiers to go. The Department of Defense says they'll also be providing military aircraft to assist with deportations, with plans to fly more than 5,000 illegal immigrants already detained in San Diego and El Paso out of the country. The White House was asked about this directly. This is what they had to say.
The American people have been waiting for such a time as this, for our Department of Defense to actually take Homeland Security seriously. This is a number one priority of the American people, and the president is already delivering.
Also worth noting, the president has signed an executive order directing DHS, the Department of Justice, and State Department to, quote, repel, repatriate, and remove illegal aliens across the southern border. The message from the White House being, don't come.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, here we are, y'all, just a few days into Donald Trump's second term as the president of the United States, and boy, this thing has hit America like a whirlwind. Not only that, but it's hit the world like a whirlwind. No, it's not just America. He showed up at the World Economic Forum. Yeah, he zoomed in. He was there by video conference, but he was Donald Trump nonetheless on the world stage. He smacked down the CEO of Bank of America. He talked his talk. He stood firm and told the entire world, America is open for business. Bring it on. Open your checkbooks and let's get to work here in America. Well, while he was there giving that welcoming speech to CEOs and business tycoons around the world, under the radar, y'all, ICE was doing its business as Donald Trump promised on the campaign trail. He said, look, we're going to get this thing under control. Not only are we going to close the border, but we're going to get the illegal aliens that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris let into this country. No, we're going to get them out. Because they tried to play on your sympathies and say, oh, well, the women and children and the asylum seekers. But then somewhere along the line, y'all, somebody, I think it was Fox News, set up a drone down there at the border, and we got to see for ourselves who was flooding the border. And they weren't just walking in, they were busting through fences. They were riotous. They were unruly and uncouth. Y'all, they brought their third world mentality to America. And I've seen it online on the X platform many times. They say, hey, you import the third world, you become the third world. Well, we've seen that come true with cases like Lake and Riley. And I was so glad that Donald Trump, in a press conference, an impromptu conference this morning, he answered a question from a media type. He said, hey, you gonna sign that Lake and Riley Act? Y'all, this is an act signed by Congress, bipartisan legislation that is on the way to his desk that has to do with illegal immigration. Well, Donald Trump said, yeah, I'm gonna sign it. Don't worry about that. I ain't gonna give you a date, but whenever it gets to me, yeah, I'm out on the road right now. I'm out doing presidential things, but when I get back to my desk, best believe I'm signing it. Well, that's a great thing. And we like to see the president being proactive, but oh my God, y'all, it's only been 5 days. And we don't want him to slow down. We ain't tired of winning. Let's keep winning, Mr. President. Keep going. He hit North Carolina this morning, and now he's on his way to the West Coast, y'all, to see the devastation in Los Angeles. And they got more fires that have popped up just in the last couple days, y'all. I'm just going to put it out there. It's my opinion. My opinion alone. You can take it for what it is. You can reject it if you like. But I think this is arson. Because we in the middle of winter. And when it's cold outside, you tell me that it's just going to spark up a fire in the middle of the cold? Now, I know LA don't get as cold as y'all might get. Y'all had some southern snowstorms and whatnot. It was pretty cold in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. We know y'all getting blizzards and things out there. California don't rock like that. But still, it is not the fire season as we normally know it to be. And here we are with fires bursting out everywhere. Uncontrollable fires because it ain't no water down there, although they live right on the water. I told somebody the other day, said, look at this aerial shot of this $10 million mansion that is right there on the water. They go outside every morning on their balcony and look over the ocean. Explain to me why that house burned. Those houses in a row, y'all, burn when they're right there on the ocean. I'll wait. Put it in the comments. These folks live on the water, and you ain't got no water to put the fire out? You ain't got no water to protect yourself from the fire when the water is right there? Make it make sense. Well, Donald Trump is coming to LA. He wants to see the damage. And rumor has it he ain't been answering the calls of Gavin Newsom. Yeah, Gavin is trying to make a name for himself. He wants to, see, he's stuck right now. He wants to be the resistance. But he wants to be the solution. So how can he do that? He wants to cape for the left, but he wants to cuddle up to Donald Trump at the same time because he needs those federal resources to bring LA back. Well, sir, you got yourself in a little pickle there. And we ain't even going to discuss the little mayor there with her incompetent self who never should have been in place. I hope they recall her. But y'all, here we are with a president who is keeping the promises he made on the campaign trail. And deportations are one of those promises that Americans like myself were anticipating, because when we looked at the situation, we say, hey, there's way too many military-aged men here. They ain't got no wives with them, ain't got no kids with them. They military age. They look like they could fight a little peace. They look like they could hold up a resistance, a little peace, and they're just flooding into this country from all over the world. People want to say, well, if you're anti-illegal immigration, well, you hate Hispanics. No. This is not about Hispanics. Why would the Democrats and the left even put that narrative out there? This is not about Hispanics. This is about the rule of law. And as you'll see in this clip, this Haitian gang member with a whole long rap sheet, well, he's resisting the police. Not only that, but he's cursing Donald Trump and he's thanking Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Now, look, this dude is a Haitian immigrant, illegal immigrant gang member from Haiti. Why is he thanking Joe Biden? What did Joe Biden do for you? Oh, that's right. He housed you. He fed you. He gave you a debit card. He let you frolic around with the kids. Yeah. Took your leash off. Let you be a menace in all kinds of neighborhoods. And looking at you, you're probably pretty comfortable in the blackety black neighborhood. So when you get to thinking, oh, the ghetto is this and the ghetto is that. No. Sometimes the ghetto is a construct of governmental incompetence. And they say, oh, well, you blackety black, you from Haiti, you from the Congo, so you go over there. We gonna send you to the south side of Chicago. We're going to send you over to Brooklyn. We're going to send you over to Houston. We're going to send you over to Compton. Oh, you blackety black? Going over there to Oakland. But sometimes, y'all, that crime is not being committed by Americans. Sometimes they are importing crime illegally. And we see a prior administration that gets away with it. No charges, no consequence. No, that don't sit right with me. I hope this new administration digs deep and finds a way to hold people accountable for the crimes committed against America and Americans, crimes that led to the death of Laken Riley. Look at this dude as he thanks Barack Obama. Boy, how long you been here?
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, shortly after we finished filming, ICE Boston told us they arrested 2 more targets in other parts of town away from our cameras. One of those targets is a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested for raping a woman while putting a gun in her mouth. The other target they got is a Haitian man who first flew into the United States in 2023 as part of President Biden's controversial migrant flights mass parole program. Well, they just picked him up yesterday because he's been arrested locally for sexual assault. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Malhusian, it was fascinating to watch all of that. I think I was just saying to Bill, this is terrible for Joe Biden and the legacy that he tried to leave behind. A question from me, how soon will they actually be leaving the country? Does that take a long time?
It depends what country they're from. If they're from cooperable countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, countries like that, it can be quick. It can be within days or weeks. If it's countries that are harder to deport, countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much, it can go into a process of months. But the Trump administration is changing policies with something called expedited removal. The bottom line is people at home don't need to understand all the policies. The Trump administration is just going to work as fast as they can to get all the people you just saw on camera there out of the country as fast as possible. They're also going to use their State Department, now led by Marco Rubio, to put pressure on countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much when it comes to those deportations.
Bill, just two points of clarification here. It seems a lot of these crimes are associated with sex crimes. I'm just looking at the list a bit earlier today. I don't know if that generally is the case or not. And second, if Boston's a sanctuary city, how are they allowed to do this? Because we told there would be resistance.
Boston doesn't have to cooperate with ICE, but there's nothing they can do to stop ICE from coming into their city and enforcing the law. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And that's the point ICE makes to us is, look, they don't have to cooperate with our detainer requests. They don't have to tell our officers when they're releasing somebody from jail. But we're going to do our job. We have our intel guys out in the field. We have people with eyes all over the place, and we're going to snatch those guys. So they can make ICE's job more difficult, longer, and more dangerous, but it's not going to stop ICE from doing the job, guys. The bottom line is ICE says it's safer for everybody involved if locals would just hand these guys over in jail once they're arrested, but they don't. They let them out onto the streets. They don't tell ICE about it. So ICE has to spend a lot of resources gathering intel, finding these guys, and then going out into the community to do arrests, which could be dangerous. You saw that combative Haitian man. And then you saw in the case of that one MS-13 member, his friend got snagged. They weren't even looking for him. They were looking for the MS-13 guy. They picked him up because a sanctuary jurisdiction released the MS-13 guy. ICE found him and then found the guy who was in the apartment with. They found out he was an illegal alien as well. So now he's going to be deported too.
Wow.
Amazing. Bill Malhusian, thank you so much. More to come on that.
And as you can see, y'all, there is clear and present danger approaching these illegal immigrants and trying to round them up, whether it be on the street, in a back alley, in their home, wherever it might be. You understand when Tom Homan says, look, These localities, these sanctuary cities are doing us a disservice by not allowing us to come into their jails and capture these guys and send them back. It is a controlled environment. We can go in there easily, send in a team, get the guy or girl, and do what we need to do. But because we have to send teams into neighborhoods, because we have people in those neighborhoods, whether they be teachers. I saw a video on X the other day where teachers are coming out saying, you bet not come in my classroom. Oh, really? Your purple-haired teacher, we can't come in your classroom and get the illegals you got in there? Okay. You got the pastor saying, you bet not come in my church. Oh, really, pastor? You got some illegals off in there, don't you? Well, the teams are going into these homes, y'all, as you can see by the video footage. And they're saying, hey, we're going to catch some collateral damage because birds of a feather tend to flock together, do they not? So sometimes when you got an illegal in a place and he has a criminal record, we go and get him and there's usually some other illegals around him. They like to hang together, safety in numbers type of thing. Well, maybe your numbers aren't so safe anymore because when we come looking for the one, says Tom Homan, and you got a second and a third there with you, we taking everybody. Yeah, you might not be on the list, but you're on the list.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And all it takes, y'all, to really set this issue aflame, and I hate to use that terminology, but for lack of better phraseology in this moment, all it takes is an officer or two to get shot in one of these raids. And we've seen the news stories. Saw a story the other day where tens of thousands of rounds of ammunition was confiscated in a traffic stop of illegal aliens in this country. What y'all doing in this country with so much ammo? Are you going to war with these military-age men that you have let in this country? These single men, no wife, no kids, they just here for a better life? Why you got ammo for a better life? Now, I'm a U.S. citizen. I got plenty of ammo, and it makes my life better. But I don't know why it would help an illegal alien who was here illegally. What is your purpose? What is your goal? What is your intention in this country? Well, it gives one pause, and it makes me think about what might happen, what could happen if an officer gets shot while trying to deport an illegal alien. Yes, y'all, it's a sensitive topic, but it's a sensitive condition that the previous administration allowed to get way out of control. And thanks be to God, something is happening about it, and it's happening fast just a few days into the new administration. Well, y'all, we prayed for this. We asked God for it, and he answered our prayer. Don't let up on the prayer now. We got a long way to go to fix this country. There's a lot to be done. Not a lot of time to get there if you follow politics and understand how these things go. So stay prayed up, y'all. But celebrate just a little peace in knowing, oh, yes, sir, you're going back to Haiti, like it or not. Y'all, let me know what you think about this. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.